I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 53, Jikkyō Powerful Pro Yakyu 4. Released in 1997, this game was developed and published by Konami. Another sports game here on the N64, so many of them honestly, but this one might surprise you. If you can't tell by the title, this is a Japanese exclusive game, so we're playing baseball in the Nippon Professional Baseball. Right away, I could tell this was going to be different. Instead of normal looking people in the game, it's a very cartoony look. I don't know, kinda similar to how Ness in Smash Bros looks in a way. Surprisingly, this game does have a single player story mode, the Success Mode, so we will complete that to beat this game. So what exactly is Success Mode? In it, you create a custom baseball player who's like in the training leagues for the NPB. The goal is to work your way up to secure a contract with one of the NPB teams. So yeah, the first thing we do is create our player. I named him Butt because, well, apparently I'm immature. You choose certain info about your player, like what position they play, what hand they use for pitching and batting, and some personal info like where you're from and things like that. And after that, the story starts. There's actually lore in this game. It opens talking about how we've played baseball all our life, and now we're doing it professionally. We've got a contract for 68 million yen, which, what the heck, that's a lot for someone not even in the league. Then we're thrown into the game. The main menu is what we'll see very often in this mode. At the top it shows our mood, then stats in mitt size, power, running power, throwing power, and defense. Then at the bottom you can choose to train, rest, make a call, view your stats, or listen to others' opinions about you. When choosing to train, it opens a sub-menu where you choose how to train. Scrolling over each one shows a percentage that is your chance to become injured from doing this exercise. From left to right, they are manual batting, automatic batting, running, base running, fielding, pitching, weightlifting, and like an endurance one. I chose the manual batting practice and it put me into a training session. Here it puts you in a real batting practice where you're given 10 pitches to swing at. The better you do, the more experience you'll earn. The batting's pretty standard. It shows your strike zone with a yellow cursor showing where you'll swing, and a white crosshairs to show the pitch coming in. After the session, it gives you the outcome of it. So like here, I gain points in my power, but when you train, you become more fatigued. Your character's head in the top left indicates your energy levels. After this session, I overheard the coaches talking about me. They just say how there's a new player who's pretty good in the outfield. Then it goes to the next day. You can essentially do one action per day, so the next day I did the endurance thing. Now, depending on which exercise I do, it will affect different coaches' opinions of me. If you want, you can play into this by getting on a coach's good side, but I don't think it's needed. The next day I did some fielding practice, and after that I decided to hit off the tee, but then something terrible happened. If you notice, my character looks very tired. I didn't understand the injury system by this point, and well, yeah. I got injured and was out for 1 week. Getting injured also lowers your stats quite a bit. When you are injured, you can't do anything other than wait it out, represented by a picture of crutches. After 1 week of rest, I was back at it. But maybe I should have let my guy rest a bit more because I got injured again doing some running. And this time, the diagnosis was bad. I tore my Achilles tendon and I was out for 6 weeks. I knew Butt's career was over at this point, so I just reset and started over. For whatever reason, in this next run, my character apparently had a girlfriend because she called me a couple months in and complained that I never want to talk to her anymore. Like, well, maybe I would have called you if I knew you existed. So I called her the next day and she said she didn't want me to call her. What the heck, man? There's no winning with her. I just went back to training instead. A few days later, she called me and gave me an ultimatum. She asked which I thought was more important, her or baseball. I mean, come on, ball is life, but I didn't want to make her feel bad, so I told her she was more important. She said it was suspicious, and now she's angry. Like, dude, what is her deal? It was now June and I was hanging out in the locker room with my fellow players. One of them came up and asked me if I had a girlfriend, and you know, things weren't going so hot at this point. I was just like, yep, no, I don't have one. Butt was doing pretty well at this point, but then I got hit with some bad RNG. Apparently my favorite baseball player retired, and it made me really sad. This sucks, because when your mood is down like that, you can get injured easily. Thankfully, some of my teammates showed up and asked me to go out on a night in the town with them. Heck yeah, dude, let's go party. It was a fun night, but I think you all can see where this is going. Butt's girlfriend called, and she sounded different. She was like, "But I know you think baseball's more important than me, and I want to break up." This was just devastating, and Butt's mood plummeted as low as it could go. You know what? She was getting in the way of me making the big leagues. It does suck though, because when your mood's this low, you can't do any practicing. Thankfully, after a few days of playing tennis, my mood was back to normal. Moving on, it was now September and something amazing happened. The coach pulled me aside and said he wants me to play in the game this week. It was my first chance to really prove myself. The way this works in the success mode is you only play as your character during the game, and you only do your batting, no fielding. These are the most important moments of the entire mode. Depending how you do in these can make or break your career. My first at-bat was a pop fly in the infield. Horrible. Then I got a base hit with an RBI, and a double. Honestly, that went awesome. My team won 3-1, and I got all kinds of stats and positive impressions with the coaches. Heck yeah. I kept my training routine going throughout the rest of the year. Coach didn't ask me to play anymore, but that's okay. When it got to December, it was Judgment Day. The manager of the team called me into his office to let me know how things were going. He said I maintained the status quo and he'd keep me around for another year. Not the best, but we can improve. Apparently in this mode you get a max of 3 years to make it to the big leagues, or you get a game over. For the month of December you can't train or anything like that, so you go back home with your mom. Aw man, I didn't call her once all year. This is going to be awkward. But she seems happy that I'm around. The only thing to do here is rest, which is kinda nice because it allows you to get your mood and fatigue maxed out before the next year starts. Once January hits, you can go back to training. But it's like the off season, so there's no practicing with the team or coaches. This limits you to about half of the exercises. I was minding my own business, doing my routine, when I ran into this old professor looking dude in a lab coat. He brought me into this wild science lab where he conducts experimental recovery therapy on people. This doesn't seem too weird. Oh god, why is there a dude wearing an executioner's cloak? The professor assures me this is his trusted assistant, and it's nothing to worry about. He promises if I go through with his treatment, I'll improve greatly. What the heck, what do I have to lose? The coach never lets me play anyway. And then the professor's like, "Hold him down, don't let him move." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're a monster." He says, "Hey, scientific progress requires sacrifice." Afterwards, I wake up in my room and I don't remember anything. And then my stats drop dramatically, like way down. I don't think that was a good idea to go through with that. Only thing I could do was keep training and try to rebuild, I guess. So that's exactly what I did. And in September, I was asked to play in a game again. I got 2 base hits in a row, got out on my 3rd at bat, then got a single followed by a double. Really solid game for me, honestly. My team won 1-0, probably thanks to me. And then later, somehow I ran into that executioner dude in a local park. He was like, "Hey, we kinda messed up with you, so I'll offer you this medicine." I mean, I've already lost everything. How much worse can it get? I took it and it electrocuted me and I passed out. I'm actually not sure what this did, but it couldn't have been good. Nothing too eventful happened for the rest of the year, and it was time to go back to the manager's office. In the games I played in, I had well over a 500 batting average, which is just insane. Surely I'm killing it, right? Well, the manager had other plans. He said he knows I've been working hard, but I'm not really needed on the team. And just like that, I lost literally everything. I dedicated my entire life to baseball, and I was just thrown out like some pile of garbage. I'd gotten a game over, and that was it. Butt's baseball career was done. I was completely distraught at this turn of events, but all I could do was make another player and start all over. But this time I knew better. I wouldn't trust any sketchy scientists with experimental therapy. Yeah, never mind, that's a lie. I took that therapy without thinking twice about it. This time though, it went really well. It brought my mood and energy levels to the absolute max. Heck yeah. Also, this time around, I thought I'd try to actually keep the relationship with Butt's girlfriend going too. So I called her and we went to the park together. It turns out doing this can be really helpful because it keeps your mood and energy levels much higher, which lets you train better. I never got asked to play for the first year, but my contract got extended to the next. This time in March, the coach asked me to play in a real game for the first time, like there were fans watching and everything. It didn't go as well as I would have liked though. I got a base hit followed by getting out twice in a row. Not too great. You get the idea of how this game works by now, right? We just keep training and playing when the coach asks. It's essentially a baseball RPG. Some things are random, but ultimately you're in control of how they play out, especially how you perform when asked to play in a game. By the end of the second year, the manager said I was still doing well enough so he'd re-sign me. However, this was my last year to prove prove myself. I'd been playing well, my training was going well, but I still felt like I could use a bit of insurance. That's when that professor dude showed up again. He said he had a new experimental treatment he wanted to try out, and I was the perfect guinea pig. It was risky this far in, but what the heck, let's do it. And man, it could not have went better. My stats increased like a crazy amount. My mood and energy were maxed out. I think they gave me steroids. I was on top of the world. My stats were sky high and nothing could bring me down. One of my teammates was like, "Hey man, wanna go out for a night on the town?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" We were waiting at a crosswalk for what felt like ages, and Butt had had enough. He sprinted across the street because he got tired of waiting, and well, he got hit by a car. I swear that's what it said happened. My stats plummeted and I was out for at least 6 weeks. My career was as good as dead at this point. And yeah, by the end of the year, the manager said I was cut from the team. Rip, man. All I could do was make a new character and try again. This time I was keeping things clean. Dedicate my time to staying on top of my game. No experimental procedures, no shenanigans with the team, just pure hard work. And it was paying off. I even got my first ever home run in a game this time, which always feels great in these baseball games. Something was going right because in April of year 3, the head coach said I was being added to the first team. Essentially, I had made it, baby. Butt was officially in the NPB. Heck yeah. The second iteration of Butt should have made it, but well, he got hit by that car. But this guy's pretty good at baseball too, you know? It just congratulates you on making it, and that's it, really. You're able to transfer a player from success mode onto a real team's roster if you want, but it was a bit too complex to figure out with the language barrier. You have to enter some giant password representing your character, but it's all in Japanese, so I couldn't really figure out how to do it. While the focus of this video was the success mode, the game does function as just a general baseball playing game. When you play, you do it all: batting, fielding, and pitching. It has an announcer that has like a heavily compressed voice, so it's really hard to hear, but it's kinda neat due to it being more arcade-like physics rather than something realistic. I got absolutely wrecked in the game I played, but hey, we beat the success mode, so that's all that matters. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating Jikkyō Powerful Pro Yakyu 4. This one was definitely interesting. When I learned it was a baseball game, I thought, here we go, more boring sports. But it turned out this game is a full-on RPG. With the text being in Japanese, it was really frustrating, but if you know the language, it would probably be pretty fun to play this, I feel. I liked all the wild events that can take place, and it's just a neat way to experience a baseball game. I enjoyed the art style a lot, the game ran really smoothly. I gave it a 5 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 5 out of 10 for difficulty. It's not actually that hard, but I'm including the language barrier in that. You can get wrecked by RNG though, which is just completely out of your control. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, consider giving it a like, as it does help the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and here's a sneak peek at what is coming next. There's now 338. We could get anything, unless we've already played it. Let's see what it is. Harley's fired up. 3, 2, 1, go. 285. What's that? Oh my god, are you kidding me? We're playing another Star Wars game. Playing Star Wars Racer. I don't know, this random numbers just loves Star Wars right now.